youtube.com/MayhewMayhem. That's youtube.com/MayhewMayhem.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I am your host, my name is Michael Mayhew, and I am here with my co-hosts,
Scott, and the guy to gargle more goat testicles in a satanic ritual is...
James. Jesus Christ, that was very graphic. And we're joined here by this bag of shit.
Greg.
30 Minutes of Mayhem is available on YouTube, iTunes, Android, Stitcher, and Spreaker. All of you have to do is search MayhewMayhem. That's MayhewMayhem, and make sure to rate us 5 stars.
Also, you can help us afford to continue doing the show by donating to 30 Minutes of Mayhem via PayPal. Just use this email address in the description, 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com.
So as I said, welcome to 30 Minutes of Mayhem, the podcast your mother can be ashamed of. And tell me, Scott, why is this the podcast your mother can be ashamed of?
That's a good question. There are multiple reasons, and I can't think of any.
That is exactly correct. There are multiple reasons. But before we really get started tonight, I want to tell you guys about something that happened to me very many years ago. So have you ever heard of Nuru massage?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, N-U-R-U massage. It's a type of massage, but it's also a type of porn.
Oh.
So when we're done here tonight, make sure you go look it up. Back before I even knew what exactly a Nuru massage was, my ex was giving me a massage, had me all oiled up and everything. She's giving me this full body massage, and after she does, like she has me laying on my stomach, she did my back, shoulders, arms, legs, yada yada. So she flips me over to where I'm now laying on my back, and she's massaging the front half of my body. And if you know anything about my Nuru massage, eventually she's gonna touch my D. So she does, and then she gets up to the point to where she is straddling me, just rubbing her puss on my D, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. And I make a joke. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about putting my D in her A, because I didn't think she would do it. But she took my words as, I guess, a dare. So while she's doing this, she decides to cram my D into her ass and just is furiously riding me. And the next day, she says, we can never do that again. I was like, what, the whole massage thing? That was fucking awesome. Why can't we ever do that again? And she's like, no, not that part. And I was like, oh, the D and the A part. She was like, yeah. And I was like, so why? She's like, yeah, because I've been shitting blood since last night.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that
Yummy.
is why this is the podcast your mother can be ashamed of. As I'm sure my ex would have loved to have done one of these, and that is, if you had to lose one of your 5 senses, which would you choose to lose and why? We all know which one she would have chose to lose, and that is the sense of, feel, because shitting blood is probably not very fun.
Yeah, I don't think shitting blood would be the most fun thing to have at all.
That's
Like,
not exactly
none.
a sense, Greg.
Yeah, I
This
know,
is-
but it's still like, I'm disagreeing with him. Like, that would suck ass to shit blood.
Such a bad pun. But
Oh my God, I wasn't even trying to go that way. Oh, fuck. That's
but
hilarious.
let's be serious for a second. I don't even know how my D caused her to shed blood, because we all know.
It's so small.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it's because she just furiously kind of crammed it in there and just went to fucking town, and hurt herself internally because of that. There was tons of lube. I
Well,
was
then, yeah, she probably was just too rough.
so. Which of the 5 senses would you choose to lose?
Personally, I would probably pick to lose touch, because don't see that much use for it. I would much prefer to keep taste and smell and sight and hearing than if I had to choose. I would definitely pick touch, because
Okay, if you're in a survival situation and you're in a dark, cave, and
Scott,
you're trying
I'm
to get
pretty
out of
sure
it.
that if we're getting to choose what senses we have to lose. We could also choose never to have to be in a survival situation like that.
More importantly than being in a dark cave and not being able to like feel your way around, jerking off would be pointless at that point because you wouldn't feel it.
Oh fuck, that's
A lot of
right. I
things
forgot
would be
about
pointless.
jerking off, and oh god, yes, sex would be impossible. God damn, I picked the wrong one. Let me
Well, it looks like you're screwed.
Speaking of being in a dark cave, Michael was in a dark cave.
You're damn right I was. I've been in a few dark caves, James. A few dark caves.
Some are scary and gruesome. Weird smells.
Oh man, actually, only one that was scary and
liquids.
gruesome and smelled. Another one that was just disappointing, and then the other one was pretty good. Not gonna lie. So there's that. Anybody take it from there?
Oh, I don't even know, man.
Could I go back and change
I-
mine?
It wouldn't have to be taste. It can't be taste because I love the taste of things.
Oh yeah, you can't.
It'd probably have to be smell because I like the feel too. So it'd have to be smell. I'd be
that
able to
goes
do, I
along
guess,
with
more
taste.
things.
Smell goes along with taste, so taste would be a lot duller if you got rid
Yeah,
of
but
smell.
there have been people I remember there have been people who like actually lost their sense of smell, and because of that, over time their body compensates for that.
So Greg,
cool.
you said you want to change yours after I brought up the point of jerking off would be pointless. So what would you change it to then?
Probably change it to the same thing as James, smell. I've eaten food with like a really bad stuffed up nose before where like I literally could not smell anything. And the taste of the food, like it wasn't too different. I do have to say that it could also count as a blessing in disguise because I mean it would be really nice to go to like a fair or a carnival or something and not have to smell the urinals and the fucking porta johns when you walk by them.
There'd
Hey,
be a
you could
lot
be
of
the
stuff you'd be able
go-to
to
guy
do.
for like garbage.
Can't
In
smell
fact,
the shit, literally.
Yeah.
Again, back to my story to begin with, apparently.
well, I don't mean to be a Buzz Killington, but there are. It's debated, but there are kind of more than just the five senses. Like balance, for one thing, is considered a sense. To get to the
Bounce?
point.
Balance, he said, James.
Oh, balance.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wait, what did you think I?
He thought you said
Bounce.
bounce.
Like a
Bounce.
big booty? Yeah. Like you're bouncing your big booty on a cock.
Again, back to my main, my starting point. So go ahead, what you were saying.
Love it.
Getting to my point, the traditional five.
Gun to your head, you have to lose one of them.
I mean, if I had a gun to my head, just pull the trigger. I really can't.
If it was gun to my head, I'd have to say I'd rather lose the sense of feel, because at the point when you're getting shot, you're not
There
gonna
you
feel it.
That is
Okay.
true.
You can't envision your life without one of the five major senses.
Yeah.
I'm stuck between two of them. I'm stuck between smell and taste, because with smell, I agree with Greg and James that it would probably be the easiest one to lose. But at the same time, I think about all the negative things with again, in a survival type scenario, going back to what Scott had said, if you're asleep at night or whatever and your house is on fire and the rest of your senses are not telling you that your house is on fire, and normally you would smell the smoke, and that you would be like, all right, something's not right here, and then say you open your bedroom door, and then fuck, now your other senses are kicking in, you know what I mean? You see it, you see that there's smoke or whatever, but you don't have that initial sense to tell you like something's not right here. The reason why I'm stuck between that and taste is because there's so many foods out there that are like healthy for you that I would love to be able to eat, but they taste like I'm eating my own vomit and or
Yes.
someone else's vomit, and I can't get past that. I'm not worried about how they smell. It's like I can plug my nose, get past the smell. I get them in my mouth, taste the food, and it tastes just like straight vomit, and I can't. I'm spin it back out. I know a lot of females say that about semen, but that's neither here nor there. That's why I'm stuck between the two of those. But at the same time, I think about all the positives. Like, there's a lot of things that smell good out there that I'd like to be able to smell. There's a lot of bad things out there I'd like to be able to smell for, survival. But when I weigh the pros and cons between the two, I think there's more things out there I'd like to be able to taste that are good than there are good or bad smelling things that I'd like to be able to either smell or not smell. So I am also going to go with smell.
Seems like we all basically agreed that out of all of them, smell would probably be the one that's like least awful to lose.
So this is something new that we've actually never done before, that I just recently opened it up to listeners of the show to submit questions or comments, whatever they want to say to us. And if you didn't see any of that promotion about that, you can always email us at 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at 30mins of mayhem on Twitter, or just anything you see on Facebook. Just leave us a question or just a comment, whatever you want, and if we like it or if it's funny, whatever, we'll read it on the show. This first one here, I got literally, I think it was the day after the first time we announced that, or made the promotion that we were going to be answering these questions or reading comments or whatever on the show. I'm not going to tell you who it's from because they didn't actually sign the email, and I'm not going to give out their email address or anything. It reads, Dale was the only respectable one on the show. Now that he is gone, I will not listen. My question is, Dale, why are you emailing the show? You could be just better off not emailing the show and just being on the show, Dale. Quit emailing the show and talking shit, okay? No, I'm kidding. This wasn't from Dale, but when I initially read it, I was like, what the fuck is Dale doing emailing me saying this shit? I thought he was being an ass, right? And I checked the email address, and it wasn't any of Dale's, and I was like, well, I don't think Dale would take the time out to create an email address just to email that. So what are your thoughts? Was Dale the only respectable one on the show, and now that he's gone, will you also not listen?
I think it's just one of Dale's dick riders.
The funny thing about this email actually is that this was sent before episode 51 even aired, so they haven't even had a chance to hear the new version, or more or less, if you will, of the show to even know if it's better or as good or worse. They haven't even had the opportunity, and apparently they're not even going to give it the chance because Dale was the only respectable one, and now that he's gone, they're not going to listen.
Well, you know what? Fuck them then. We don't need them to listen to us, because it's like if they were only listening to us for one thing, and once it's gone, then they don't care about it anymore, then you know what? You guys weren't true fans. We don't need you listening anymore, so fuck you guys.
That's being a poor sport.
It'd be like hating your team because they got rid of their star player.
Greg, we need every listener.
Dick
every
riders.
Single one. Every single listener. Greg, we need them all. But
I'm sorry they feel that way, but I hope they like the new show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want them to like the new show, but at the same time, it's like, you really gonna hit on us just because the person you liked left? That's stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
it's shitty.
It's not like it was like a negative thing with Dale leaving. It's not like we were like, fuck you.
No, he
fuck
left
you,
under very amicable circumstances.
Yeah, and he said, and we've been in talks, and he's gonna come back and be on a guest on some episodes, and when he's on, we'll make sure I will specifically email you, person, the link to the shows that Dale is on, although you're probably not listening now because, well, Dale's not on here. So the next one is a question that was submitted to me on Facebook, and this one's from Adam. If you do not know who Adam is, he was one of the stars of This Is Wit, the skit comedy show that I did. He was also on episodes 16 and 17 of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. So he asks, is it okay to pick your nose in public?
How public?
It doesn't say. Is it okay to pick your nose in public?
If you're in a public restroom, yes. But if you're sitting at a dinner table with your friends or something, then no. But I guess it just depends on how public it is.
Well, I've heard that in some states it's illegal to flick your boogers into the wind.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think that's Alabama or something like that.
Yeah, it would definitely be the South.
It
sounds like the South would probably do something like that.
Not that we hate you, the South, but you guys do have some really stupid shit down there. Greg, what do you think?
Well, one thing I'm gonna say is that I think it's fucking stupid when people like act like they're disgusted because somebody's picking their nose when it's like, damn well and good. I think we could all agree that
It's
no matter
natural.
who you are, you probably pick your nose. Even if nobody's looking, you're gonna pick your nose. Nobody has ever not picked their nose. Anybody who says that they don't pick their nose or anything is a goddamn liar. And I mean, obviously, you shouldn't be like super like obvious about it and like in your face or anything about it. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, you can be discreet about it when you're in public. But I mean, at the same time, somebody gets grossed out that you're doing it. I mean, it's fucking stupid. I mean, everybody does it. It's not that big a deal. You just gotta calm the fuck down. Jesus.
I gotta say, I just love picking my nose.
Well, who
Yeah.
doesn't?
Like I just do like that, just that relief afterwards. Like most of the time, it's not the same relief or release that you get when you're like jerking off, but it's just like you kind of clear like your breathing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that shit did get clogged up in there, and your breathing
Yes.
through your nose isn't quite as well, and you get all that fucking shit out of there, and then
Yeah,
you
I mean,
breathe better and whatnot.
and I remember
Oh.
in school they would always say use a tissue, and it's like, motherfucker, blowing my nose isn't always gonna get all the shit out of there.
Yeah, exactly. That is
Some of that shit is impacted. Okay, I gotta dig that shit out. God damn.
Greg is fired the fuck up about picking your nose in public.
He's
So-
like, oh yeah.
So I think the consensus, Adam, for us here at the show is that everyone picks their fucking nose as long as you're not being over the fucking top jackass about it. Then yeah, it's fun to pick your nose in public. Okay, so our last question was also an email, and because they did not sign the email, again, I'm not going to give out the email address. It says, why did Raven leave the show? I'm going to take the answer to this, and I'm going to be the only one that answers it. So the answer to this question is I'm not going to answer this question. If you want to know why she left the show, you can contact her yourself and ask her. I'll give you her Twitter, at Bare Naked Soul, which is BEHR_NAKED_SOUL. Last I heard, she started her own podcast. The name of it eludes me at this point in time, but if you tweet her, she'll probably tell you the name of her podcast and tell you why she left this one. That's the best answer I can give you. So like I said to begin with, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever it is that you may want to say to the show, again, you can email us 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at 30mins of mayhem on Twitter, messages on Facebook, leave a comment onto Facebook, whatever you want to do, and if it's good or we like it or if we don't or we think it's funny, whatever, we may read it on a future episode. Now let's get into this last topic. We're talking about losing the senses earlier. We were talking about getting fucked in the butt until it bleeds earlier. Now tell me, if you were to lose a limb or multiple limbs, maybe say you get your leg blown off by an IED when you're in your backyard because your neighbors hate you. Maybe you're using a chainsaw and because your friend's a drunk jackass, you accidentally cut from your knee down off. How do you feel like you would deal with losing one or multiple limbs? Or I'll even say to this point, becoming para or quadriplegic.
Sometime after the cut, you get the phantom limb syndrome.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know if it happens to like everyone that loses a limb or if it's only like certain people. I have no idea.
Well, with one of my arms, or both of my arms, I'd probably just kill myself.
Well,
I would.
you don't have an arm to use a gun, so how do you, or like tie ropes? So how do you like go about it?
Jump.
Well, that is true. Jump off a bridge.
There you go. There's plenty of
Or,
bridges in the area. It's not like it'd be hard to find one.
Yeah, if it was just one of my legs, I mean, I could probably do well. I mean, hell, they could give you frickin'
Prosthetic?
fake limb. Yeah, prosthetics, that's it. Actually, now that I think about it, they even have prosthetic arms too.
Yeah, and
Even-
with the advancements in the leaps and bounds we've been making in medical technology, pretty soon, like, you won't just have to, like, stick a freaking, like, just plastic arm on your stump. You could actually have a real fucking robot arm.
Actually, here's the thing. What they're
That'd be
trying to
badass.
go for is regrowing the limb. That's what they want to do. Because you know how
That's so
lizards...
cool.
There's also...
Splice lizard genes into humans. Yes, I am all for that. Create a race of lizard-human hybrids.
But here's the thing. There's also... I forget the name of this scientist, but he discovered that there's this matrix, like just every organ that acts as scaffolding for the cells. So when we're growing inside the mother's womb, the cells grow on that matrix. He took that somehow, like he placed there was a soldier who had like a piece of his leg blown off or something like that. It was just like, it was more of like just a ditch or a dent in his leg, and he placed that matrix over with human cells, and the leg cells regrew. So that's another way.
Welcome back to Science Talk here, where Scott's the only one that has any idea what the fuck is going on anymore. And up next we have the Bee Gees, and I hope you enjoy, and we will see you after the break. No, I get what you're saying. So you're kind of against the Captain Hook type scenario. You're more of the maybe you should practice on a hot dog before you jerk off type Star Wars new hand scenario.
As I see it, for the next few decades, the robot portion and the regrowing portion might go hand in hand, but I think eventually it'd just be regrowing. The 2500s, by then, it'll just be regrowing limbs.
So at that point, you're really the only thing you have to worry about is like your torso and your head, because you're not regrowing either one of those. Greg, you were talking about Terminator. How do you feel like you would deal with losing a limb and or being para or quadriplegic? Motherfucker's in there transforming. He's transforming. You're transforming right now.
Greg and
Hard as hell,
God
too.
damn it.
once again.
Because it doesn't
So
sound
hard.
like that on my end. I don't know why it sounds like that on your end.
That shit was funny. They hear it too. But anyways,
I mean, if I
and Greg died.
legs, then you know they got.
You
You
cut.
guys can't hear me?
No, you cut out really hardcore.
Oh, okay.
It was just like, well, and I think that I. And I was like, and Greg died. So there's that.
Right now, it would probably suck balls. If I lost my leg, I guess that wouldn't be too bad because, I mean, right now, we already got pretty good prosthetics for legs. I mean, they could be better and they're getting to be better, but I mean, right now, they're still pretty decent. Arms, on the other hand, that would suck ass because there is so much, there's so much shit I use my arms and hands for that if I lost either one of them or both of them, like I couldn't play video games anymore. Well, I guess if I still had my feet, I could teach myself
Wait.
how to play video games with my feet. But I mean, that'd be pain in the ass. I couldn't jerk off anymore. That would suck.
He's like, I just couldn't jerk off.
Right?
Well,
Here-
what,
here's-
you can't Captain Hook
so
it?
much.
So answer me this one though, here, Greg, because it's been noted before on the podcast that you are right-handed, and though you pleasure yourself left-handed, and if you had to lose your right or your left hand, which one would you choose to lose?
Oh, God. Left because I mean, I use my right for way more shit than I use my left hand for.
Don't you feel like you could just train yourself to take care of business with your right hand?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could,
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's a life or death scenario. I'm pretty sure you're going to. If I was quadriplegic, I want to take care of this one first. I would blow into my straw until I rolled myself off a cliff. Not to be disrespectful for anyone that is quadriplegic, I am not mentally strong enough to handle that situation. Paraplegic, the question is, if it's legs down, the question is, does my dick still work? If it does not, then I'm gonna use my upper body strength. I'm going to use the wheels on my wheelchair and roll myself off a cliff. I don't even feel like I could personally deal with even losing a limb. I'm just not mentally strong enough for something like that. Now, I have to go on to agree that maybe losing a leg is not nearly as bad as losing an arm. If I lost my right arm, I would probably use my left arm to roll myself off a cliff. No, I'm kidding with that one. I would use my left arm to shoot myself. Again, I'm just not mentally strong enough to deal with that situation. But this is one of those situations to where you can honestly say you don't really know how you would deal with that situation until you were in it. And because you're not in that situation currently, you can't really give it a justified answer. But I feel, though strongly, if I was quadriplegic, I'm not like Stephen Hawking or anything. I'm not that smart, so I would be blowing in my straw until I fell off a cliff. That part is not a joke. As far as losing a limb goes, it would totally depend on what limb it was. Like I said, a leg or whatever, I would probably deal. I got the tattoos across my shins that is a piece, one whole piece, one on one, and the rest of it on the other. So if I got like from knee down blown off, I would have to, my prosthetic, I would have to get, painted or whatever, the rest of the tattoo painted onto the other prosthetic so that I didn't have just half of my tattoo on one leg, and it make no sense. So as much as I want to be Lieutenant Dan and have no legs, I don't. We're not making fun of fucking people with missing limbs here, so it's gonna end up going that way if I continue where I was going with that. James, how do you deal?
If I was quadriplegic, I don't even know how I'd deal with that. I'd probably try to kill myself. If I was like paraplegic, sure, that'd be better. It'd be okay. But I mean, there'd still be problems. But I feel like I have people in my family and other people in my life that would help me get through that, and I'd be okay. I'd just be able to eat painkillers and collect money from the government. I'd be fine. But if I couldn't do anything, then it would suck. Like if I lost an arm or something, I think I'd still be able to get through it, but both arms, that would suck. Well, yeah, like Greg said, I wouldn't be able to play video games, so I don't know what the hell I would do. But it just depends on how I'm paralyzed or what limb I'm losing, I guess. But I'd be able to deal with it. It'd just be extremely hard. I don't know how I'd deal with it in the long run. Just support.
So now that this entire episode has been nothing but a ball of depression and bleeding anuses, to bring it full circle, if you were, quadriplegic, if you done their word of quadriplegic, anyways.
He's an American.
America. So if you were paraplegic, they give you a stoma. They put the bag or whatever on your side to where your poo goes into that bag. And the question is, ultimately, if you have sex into that stoma, is that still anal sex?
Oh.
And that's it for this episode of 30 Minutes Mayhem. I have been your host. My name is Michael Mayhew, and I have been here with my co-hosts,
Scott,
James,
and Greg.
And remember, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, all of those places. On Android, don't forget to check us out on there. And if you do, make sure to rate us 5 stars. It helps so much. And speaking of helping so much, donate to us on PayPal. This is not cheap. Not cheap. And I'm tired of paying it all out of my pockets. My pockets are turned inside out, and there is not even dust or fly coming out of there. So we could really use your help. Donate on PayPal. 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com. Use that email address, and that's it. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and later, fellas.